Greetings, land of Bitcoin. Bitcoin trying to break through resistance. Will it hold? This is the question. Will it hold? These vertical lines are the CME closing last Friday of every month so far in the year of 2021. This next one is August 27th. The horizontal lines are little resistance levels I have marked off. Is this pump the real deal? Will it come up here and become a top layer cake? Is this real? Is this a real pump? Personally, in my opinion, I am not putting a single penny into Bitcoin at the moment. I've been saying that for a while, so obviously I would have missed out on a little pump, but I think this is just going to be doomed for retail. That's just my personal opinion. There is a nice support here at about 44,000. In my last video, I was saying if someone had been buying around 44,000 and selling around 48,000, they'd be doing really good. Let me know in the comments section what you think is going to happen with Bitcoin. Let me know if you think Bitcoin has what it takes to get up here and become a top layer cake again, or if you think Bitcoin is just setting up retail for doom and gloom again. If you're new to this subject, this entire year of 2021 has been nothing but big pumps that set people up for massive dumps. This is the retail market getting annihilated over and over and over and over and over and over again. So let me know what you think. Here's a smaller one. Let me know what you think. Is this trend going to change? Let me know if you think we're going to do this, or if this is just going to be another one of these. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Personally, I've been here too long watching this market. I'm not going to hype people up because I've seen 4, 5, 6, 7 times this month, 7 times this year. This has happened. We're in the 8th month of the year. Okay, so these vertical lines are the CME close. The first 6 months of the year, Bitcoin pumped through the beginning part of the month, and it dumped down towards the last Friday of the month, like clockwork, the first 6 months. If you want to go through here and freeze the video and check that out, you will find that's true until here in July, where it pumped up. It pumped up to the last Friday, and then it dumped. See how that worked? Everything else was basically falling down to that last Friday of the month, and then from there it would pump. See that? See how it's pumping away, pumping away, pumping away, pumping away. It's not perfect to the day, but you see how it's working. It's pumping away. Last month it pumped down from the last Friday of the month. So basically, looking at this chart, what this tells me, now I'm not telling anyone out there what to do. I see comments on YouTube, people saying, you told me this and you told me that. And well, first of all, you're the captain of your own boat, right? Guys and gals out there, you make your own decisions. I always say don't listen to people on YouTube, because no matter who they are, they're going to be wrong here and there. No one's perfect. So just if you're not in that frame of mind where you're responsible for yourself, then you shouldn't be putting money into this. What I have to say here is judging from the last 7 months, what I think is going to happen, it's either going to continue to pump up to the last Friday and dump, or it's going to dump down to the last Friday and then pump. We're on the candle at August 21st, so 6 days. 6 more candles will put us here to the CME close, the Bitcoin futures close. So in the next 6 days, I'm looking for Bitcoin to resume its dumpage down. It depends. It depends a lot on the futures market, where the most pain is at. I think naturally it'll dump or pump into that. Looking at these last 7 months, it'll just kind of the free market will kind of choose who's gonna be who's gonna be feeling the most pain, the bears or the bulls. So let's look and see if there's been a time where it's been like 5 or 6 days away from the close where it's been pumping to that day. One thing I can think about right off the bat would be the one in February, closed on the 26th. It pumped to February 21st. And then the next 5 days, it dumped. There is a green day in there. But when I'm looking at this daily chart, I consider a dump, say, I consider Bitcoin a dumped from June 15th here all the way down to July 21st. I consider that a dump, a 5-week dump. Even though there's these big green pumps in there, I still look at this as one single dump, right? So I know lots of analysts look at things different ways in different time frames, but this is a daily chart I make a lot of my videos about, and I like this long-term stuff. So February 21st, back in February, 1, 2, 3, 4, the next 5, it dumped from 58,000 all the way down to 46,000. Actually, all the way down to 44,000, which is interesting because that's 44,000 is, you know what? That's interesting. 44,000 is the mystery support, obvious strong support where we're at currently. We've bounced off there several times on the daily chart. That's exactly where the CME bounced February 22nd, or the Bitcoin bounced on the CME closing date, February 26th. Look at that. 44,000 basically on a dot. Maybe 44,300 or 400. But that was like a $14,000 dump in 5 days. Before I turned this on and started looking at it, this was the month that I pulled out of my brain memory banks that I said, if Bitcoin were to dump now this late in the month, what month would that look like? And that would be this February one, $14,000 dump. Now, keep in mind, when it dumps down to these dates, no, this is just past data, past history of the year 2021, the bull run we're in now, or the market cycle we're in now. It's still to be determined if we're still in the bull run. Bitcoin's giving it a go, but keep in mind, even if there's a big dump, the 6 months where there's been a big dump down to it, there's a big pump up away from it. Keep that in mind. If it dumps, it's probably going to pump, likely to pump, right? If it pumps in to last Friday, it's likely to dump. That's just the past history. That's the history we've got. Last 7 months of this cycle, it's done one of those two things. It's never just went sideways through it, right? Not even close. It's either a pump or a dump, right? Clearly, looking at this. Well, April 30th, it pumped on that day, and then it did kind of go sideways with a dumpy pumpy. So I don't want to speak too quick there, but May's kind of interesting. There's this huge, enormous crash, and then it did kind of pump up towards it. May 28th, and on May 28th, it dumped. So that's, you look at this, and it clearly dumped down towards that date, and it just kind of recovered a little bit. But even when it recovered up to it, look at it, it dumped away from it. So that is a month where it's a little different, but that's just the Elon Musk crash, so it's kind of an outlier. But it still holds true. It pumped a little bit into it and dumped. And then the one in June dumped down to it, a little recovery on it, and then dumped away from it, then pumped. But in the grand, you can look at it in a shorter time frame, but in the grand scheme of things, if you zoom out, what you're basically looking at is a dump down to it with a pump away from it, right? If you just zoom out a little bit and don't ignore the intricate details, if it doesn't happen in the first 24 or 48 hours, that's not really what I'm talking about here. This is more of a weekly I mean, it's a daily chart, but I'm more looking at the months here, right? The 4 weeks and every month. It's clearly dumping down or pumping up to it. Anyways, I think you get the idea. You could, lots of things YouTubers say sounds like contradictions if you start digging into the data. But you can see what I'm saying here, right? Is Bitcoin setting up right now? Is it setting up the retail market for the dump like we've been seeing, right? See these big red dumps. You know what? Let me go to Heikin Ashi. I should have probably showed this before. This is when I probably should have been using to show this chart. Okay, now you can see it, right? This June month is kind of an outlier because everyone was scrambling after the Elon crash. But it recovered and it played out the same type of deal. Big red dump down to it, little green pump away from it. July, the trend totally reversed. It dumped for most of the month and it pumped up to it with a little dump after it. So far, the month of August has reverted back to the first 6 month trend. See, the month of August clearly is pumping green, just like January, February, March, April, May. First part of the month is green, 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 all green light go. June is basically kind of doing the same thing. There's a dump in June, but nice clear green pump. So basically, if Bitcoin were to not do something really totally different right now in the next week, I would guess it's going to dump down to the CME. This is a total guess. And I know people say you always make dump videos, but I've just been watching this too long, man. There's a chance, either way, if it's for it to pump into the CME close and then pump away from the CME close would be totally weird looking compared to the past 7 months history, right? If you look at the last 7 month history, it says it's either going to kind of come down to the CME closure and then pump a little ways away from it, something like that, or it says it's going to pump up to it and then down. So either way, this is just something to look at. I sure hope you enjoy. Let me know in the comments section what you think Bitcoin's going to do over the next couple of weeks. It would be really, really, really hard for me to believe Bitcoin, after suffering a 60% crash in price, it would be really hard for me to believe that anyone outside of the retail market and leverage traders, it would be really hard for me to believe that anyone is going to stick money on here, knowing that this is coming at some point, this giant 50-60% correction. Whether it comes up here, eventually way up here, that's still coming, right? That's what this market is. Now that I'm seeing it clearly, that's just how it is, man. I think Bitcoin's a long ways away from growing up, and this not happening. But that's another story. But I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thanks for watching.